I, on a night when they're naming the field after him, you have to have some interesting reflections about the fact that you're not, coaching here tonight, but, Bertram,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, great timing, and I'm glad it worked out, and I'm glad that I could see this, and certainly there's so many people, I think, that, been waiting for this day for a long time. He's had all the championships, and he's built this place, and only fitting to put his name on it.
Back on Sports 225, I'm Lee Feinswag, hanging out with Skip Bertman, and I've been fortunate enough to know Skip on a personal level, in addition to his role as a baseball coach and then the athletic director at LSU, largely because of our mutual friend Evan Glick,
Right.
who doesn't get to see this show, but he'll get to see the clip when we put it up on sports225.com. So Skip is a lawyer in Houston.
Evan's a lawyer.
Evan's a lawyer.
A lawyer
Right.
in Houston,
Skip's not a lawyer.
and a former player of mine in
since
high
I
school.
botched that all the way. So he went to Miami Beach High School, where Skip was the baseball coach, and among his classmates, either a couple of years before or after, was Mickey Rourke, Andy Garcia,
Roy Firestone.
Roy Firestone, right. And so Evan comes with me every year to the Final Four in basketball. So we've been doing this since the mid-'90s. He's been coming. I've been going since before then. Evan sends me a text on Saturday morning of the Final Four, the semifinals, and says, I don't feel that good. I don't think I'm coming to the games tonight. He was staying up with his nephew. I'm downtown Atlanta. Well, what's the matter? My chest hurts and I'm having trouble breathing. Get to the doctor. So to make an incredibly long story short, because you don't know Evan Glick, he goes to one of those dock-in-the-boxes. They send him to the emergency room where they perform a surgery and put in a stent. He needs another one, and they decide they're not good enough to be able to do it at this one hospital. So it's Saturday night now. The games are going on. They airlift him in Atlanta to another hospital where they do it. So not only didn't he go to the games, and then the next night, Sunday night, we have our annual big dinner. All the guys get together. He didn't even come to dinner either. Skip, the guy just can't play with pain.
Actually, he's okay. And had pretty much, what I did. That's a full-fledged heart attack, and they can just fix it so much easier than they used to by putting a stent in to widen, one of the arteries and get the thing flowing again. And he's back at work, and
of course,
else is going.
And a lot of Skip's friends who will be watching the show and who know Skip know Evan and have known him over the years. He's a frequent visitor to Baton Rouge, and would do anything for Skip. And anyway, so Evan, you owe me now. You made it on Sports 225 without coming on the show. Oh my! All right, so at the gathering, not only at the game Friday night, but then Saturday night at L'Auberge, where there must have been 200 people there for the Skip Bertman birthday party. And so many of the guys who hung around from the '93 team, and then a whole bunch of other guys,
right,
who were there. And I guess to this day, Luis Garcia still does the best imitation, doesn't he?
Right. Luis Garcia from Miami, Florida, Christopher Columbus, first national championship, third baseman in '91. Does a great imitation. And when I go to Miami, we go to his restaurant, Garcia's.
And his restaurant's been featured like on the Food Network and the Travel Channel, all that kind of stuff.
Absolutely. It's right on the Miami River. He does his own fishing for stone crabs. He's legit success. But a lot of the players were there. I really enjoyed it. I enjoyed meeting their wives. Seems like they didn't overachieve as players, but they definitely overachieved in marriage. My God, there's so many good-looking guys. There were no children at that party, of course, at L'Auberge, but I had seen all the families, and they have beautiful, beautiful children. Makes me feel really good. There's just 2 doctors, but there are many, many, many successful business people, and of course, a movie actor, and some other, wonderful things. But for the most part, they're very happy. And as tough as I was, demanding as I was, 7 days a week, because the rules were different there, they didn't come out, as neurotic people that have to see their, shrink every day. They came out as tough-minded people. Some went on to big league baseball, a lot of them, and professional baseball, and for a short time, but they were all successful, and makes you feel real good about it. And it was tough. but I was fair, I was firm, I was consistent, and I just wanted to win, and they picked up on that.
Well, that gathering the other night among the guys who got up to speak, well, the MC who did a great job and organized the whole thing, Ronnie Rance, as you said, no longer call him Jumbo, you call him Slimbo.
Slimbo.
Yes, he's half the man he used to be.
Looks terrific, and I really do thank Ronnie personally. He did most of it. He invited all those extra baseball players not from '93. He invited a lot of people, and then Mickey Parrington, the general manager, picked up the bill. Just a wonderful thing, you know, for Sandy and for me and for the players to have that venue.
Yeah, but listen,
to have a birthday.
Listen to some of the people who got up to speak. All right, Todd Walker, who had a tremendous major league career, who's pretty funny. I never knew Walker to be so funny back in the day. Mike Papajohn, who went out to L.A. and has built a big business as a stuntman, and then has got his hands in different things. And he of all people, I was shocked, was able to keep it short.
He went out of his way.
Yeah, Warren Morris, who I think was kind of a surprise guest, comes up. And,
Right, he was a kid
and
in that team.
yeah. There was just a lot of talent in the room. Some of my favorite people, just thinking back, like John O'Donohue, who works in the Baton Rouge Police Force now.
Boy,
and has
doesn't
been
he
a
look
fixture in our
good.
community. Oh, he's
What a stud.
he's just super fit. And Jason Wall was there. You know, you talk about guys who are going way back.
Yeah, and Jason Williams also super fit.
Yep.
You know, and Jason's to this day has never had a cigarette or a beer. You know, he said that once to a camp group that I had, and they all stood up and gave him an ovation. And I thought to myself, wow. I said, yeah, we got a long line of those people. But that was 20 years ago. To this day, he still has never had a cigarette or a beer. And
Well, I
wonderful
never had
guy.
a cigarette.
And wonderful, wonderful kids, and wonderful. Like my wife commented. Sandy said, "Yeah, there's just the women are so nice, and their children are so beautiful, and it's wonderful for them to come back." It has been 20 years for that '93 team, and while they don't remember everything in the way I remember it, they came out the losers bracket 3 different times, and Mike Sorotka was just sensational. You know, he was probably, for that stretch, he was the best pitcher in LSU history, I'm sure. And of course, anyway, 2 years later, he was in the big leagues. And he was a skinny kid from Houston, and 140 pounds, and he just grew bigger and stronger, and what a competitor. And then we had other great players. You know, you have Russ Johnson, you have Todd Walker, and you have Armando Rios and Mike Neal, and other great players. Jim Greeley, they go on to professional baseball. So naturally, we should win. And I probably fouled up and some others where we could have won, you know, when we were out there. But this one is one in which the kids wanted it so badly that I couldn't foul it up.
You're only 3 years away from the reunion of the '96 team. He's Skip Bertman. I'm Lee Feinswag. You're watching Sports 225. We'll be right back.